We're on. Do, 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 do. I don't have music today, but hey, Kevin, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, Camille. How are you today?
I'm good. I went to Top Golf and beat my son's ass today.
Yeah, girl. That's how you do it.
Do you have a
Nicely
Top Golf
done.
where you live?
What's up?
Do you have a Top Golf where you live? It's like a
No.
3-story driving range with music.
Oh, what? That's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't have that where I am. We're lucky if we have like a driving range, let alone 3 stories of it. That's super cool. I need to figure that out.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay,
You guys have it good down there in Florida, for sure.
We do. I can't complain. Okay, so costumes and all that stuff have kind of become like my thing, right? So I have a good one to describe how I feel about tonight's episode. Are you ready for this?
I don't know. Let's see.
Okay, here we go.
I don't know if I'm ever ready for your costumes, but let's see what you got.
I'm going to bed. This was a boring episode.
How much did it suck tonight? Not gonna lie, I watched like half of it, and I watched Sunday Night Football for the other half of it
I hate them
because this is actually a good game for football tonight.
Oh, I don't do football. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we have our drinks. I don't have.
I still gotta get my drink. Damn it! I suck at this.
You do suck at this. And we are coming to you for TVFilmandReview.com to talk about the latest boring episode of Big Brother, but we're going to make it exciting.
Yeah, we are. We're so good. We're so good at making it exciting. We're the best at it.
We're supposed to have Miss Shelly Moore from BB13, and she is at cheerleading practice and could not make it on the podcast.
Sore subject.
Yes.
Super sore subject. That's so upsetting. I loved Shelly from season 13.
Too. I really do too.
So freaking fun.
I had all kinds of questions for her, and now I don't have questions to ask her. But I do want to ask you a question. Okay, so did you see the tweet from Les Moonves talking about how there's like 5 or 6 duds from this season?
I still haven't seen the actual tweet itself, but I've seen enough coverage of it that yes, I do realize what he did say. And I like compiled some stuff in my head to like try and figure out who it was that the
Perfect,
5 or
that's
6
my
people
question.
were.
Who do you think he was talking about?
Well, okay, right off the bat, I'm thinking Meg was number 1 for sure, without a doubt. Number 2, I'm thinking it was Jeff and Jackie were 2 and 3. I would guess off the top of my head. Number 4, I'm thinking he had higher expectations for Clay. That's about where I draw the line. And after that, I can only speculate as to what he was thinking. But those are the 4 I feel pretty good about that he thought were below where they should have been or were complete duds like Meg.
Yeah, I agree with Meg. I think maybe the twins. They kind of suck.
I don't know. I feel like production loves them though.
They got a good run out of them. But I'm thinking of the timing of when he said this. We were already at like a jury point. I know Jace had to be one.
When did the actual tweet come out?
I think it was about the week that not Jackie, who came back, about when Becky got evicted, around that time, I think.
Becky better not have been called a dud. I freaking loved that. She was awesome. That's all I gotta say.
I'm learning to love Becky more and more as I'm going back and rewatching the feeds.
Yeah.
I think maybe Austin. Even though they got a lot of mileage out of Austin, I don't know.
I don't know if I'd call him a dud. I feel like he played the second best game, unfortunately, though.
And one of the questions that I'm like dying to ask a past house guest is, does Les Moonves actually watch the show enough to have a legitimate opinion?
I don't know what he considered a dud and not a dud to be. I don't know. I feel like we'd have to. I also haven't seen the interview that Big Jeff had with Julie either. So I feel like we would get some good mileage out of that when I watch that.
That's on my to-do list.
Yes, for sure. For sure. It's still on the to-do list.
Okay, so I guess there's not a lot to talk about. We'll still recap the episode, but at the end of this, I want us to dig deep into jury votes and what we think is going to happen. But we'll go ahead and go through the show a little bit. my first note is I can say it will never get old to watch Austin be evicted with no shoes on. Like,
I feel like he's a hobbit every single time I watch that. He's a really freaking big hobbit who doesn't like to wear shoes. That's such a Cali thing to do, I feel like, not wearing shoes wherever the hell you go.
you know how you have that like 15-second rewind on your remote control? Like as soon as
did you keep hitting rewind on it? Do you have TiVo or do you have something else?
Just my DVR. But yeah,
Okay.
I had to watch it twice.
Gotcha.
You know, and spoiler for anybody who doesn't want to know, Steve. Well,
we're all super fans. Yeah. Everyone who's watching doesn't care about spoilers.
As we left off, Steve had won the final HOH. Vanessa won the final veto and evicted Johnny Mac.
The final four, not the final HOH.
Yeah, the final four.
Yeah.
And then the episode opens where you see Vanessa is convincing Liz to take her, which I think Liz is 100% on board for that.
Yes.
Right. Steve is questioning Vanessa, like, "Come on, man! You're telling me you didn't make a final two with her? Like, you think I'm stupid?"
Right.
They're lying back at her.
Like, come on! What are you doing right now?
And we learned that Steve also wants to go with Liz. I haven't been watching a lot. I've been watching live feeds, but I've been watching like the beginning of the season. This, like, when they get to the point where they're sleeping 20 hours a day, I can't take it.
I haven't even been watching live feeds. I just rewatched the first part of the HOH, and I just rewatched the just post second part of the second HOH.
I haven't even
and that's literally all I've cared to watch so far this week. Everything else is so boring.
Yeah, I just keep up with the live feed updaters. I can't stand to watch it.
Yeah, right. I'm all over. I've been all over Twitter this week just to try and figure out if anything good happens.
So then we have our walk down memory lane. We go into the twin twist. How did you feel the twin twist went this season? I don't know if you watched it in season 5, but how did you feel all together that it played out?
How did I feel about it? About as well as it could have, I guess. These two really didn't play independently at all. They kind of just followed Vanessa the entire way, so that way they could stay out of trouble. Mm-hmm. That's what they did the entire time. At first, I noticed that they would only be in small groups, like around Jace and Austin, and then eventually got picked up onto Vanessa as well. I thought that was a smart strategy, so people didn't recognize them. But once people recognized them, they didn't branch out from that. And even though people would say they did a good job playing socially, they did a terrible job playing social strategy, I would say.
Yes.
They kind of fell into the right place more than actually control the game. So
yes.
It was probably the best that CBS could have asked for, though.
I think what I would have loved with this twist, if they would have made it in the house and they had more game knowledge. I would have loved if they had twins that actually watched the show. Yeah, that would be awesome. But that seems like a little bit much for CBS to ask for. I feel like at this point in the season, unfortunately. But if they were twins that came in there and just started running shit, that would have been.
How much fun would that have been? If Vanessa was a twin, or if Shelly was a twin, or somebody like that, that would have been great. Oh, so also, I'm sorry. Who were your 5 or 6 that you thought were that Les was talking about that were duds?
I think Jace was one. I think
I always forget. I forget about Jace all the time too.
Oh. And you know what? I forget about him too. But like I said, I've been kind of going back and watching, and I rewatched the scene where he's talking to Steve. And
my God, Geek Squad.
Yeah, Geek Squad, like that just—I don't know. It just makes me want to punch him in the face. Like, even if there were funny things about him, that overshadowed everything.
For the 7 days he was on live feeds, I feel like he couldn't have been considered a dud, though.
True.
Very true. He was entertaining as hell.
Very true.
Nothing else.
Who else? Like I said, I think for me, the twins were a dud. I couldn't stand them.
Yeah, that's fair. Julia more than anybody was a dud. Yeah. But I mean, Liz got in a showmance. Liz played the twin twist really well. Liz voted to keep Jeff. She at least tried to do stuff. And Julia just sucked.
I think they were disappointed in Audrey, even though we did get a lot of TV out of Audrey.
That'd be a shame if they were. Yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about that from their perspective. They were probably just like, you know what? She could cruise to like Final Five just by saying she's the first transgendered house guest ever. And then she was just too much fun for all of us. She was too much fun for the other house guests, unfortunately.
I think you're right with Clay. Clay was just a little lapdog.
Yes.
The whole thing.
That's a good word for him, lapdog.
Lapdog, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think they got more than they bargained for out of Jackie later on.
You think that? Do you watch Amazing Race? Because I don't watch Amazing Race.
I do, but I haven't watched in the past couple of years.
Okay, so yeah, because I didn't watch her season, so I didn't know what to expect from her.
I saw maybe the first 3 episodes of that season, and then but they didn't stand out to me for anything special.
So you just kind of expected that, like, that they were just like, okay, she's just going to be there. We hope Jeff is going to be good.
Yeah. But like I said, Jackie pleasantly surprised me as after Jeff left and she started speaking up more. I ended up loving Jackie because she talks so much shit. She's just like me.
Okay, so, that's cool.
So yeah, Clay, Julia. I think they wanted more from Steve. Because Steve was good, but I can't think of anything like actually entertaining about Steve.
I feel like he was like a break-even kind of guy.
Yeah.
For them, he broke even. I feel like Dud is unfair to Steve because he's not going to be Ian no matter how much anybody asks.
Very true. I just feel like if Steve would have got evicted, I would have not missed him on the feed.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one.
And
I guess that can make him a dud in that sense. But.
Yeah, we got fun stuff from Johnny Mac. He was funny. He had his comment.
I don't see anybody calling him a dud.
I don't see anybody calling him a dud. But as far as entertainment wise went, and him really kind of getting in there and doing stuff, he slept a lot. So.
The only way that he might be considered a dud was the fact that he like freaking threw stuff and made the BOB so awful to watch.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact Grodner really wanted to push that Battle of the Block, so maybe Les was looking at it that way. I'm not sure.
Like I said, I personally don't think the man watches the show enough to have a valid opinion. I don't see Les Moonves like, you know what I'm saying, watching the feeds like, oh, fuck this guy.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I feel like he could at least watch like 1 episode a week. I mean, it's a freaking cash cow for the guy. Like, he watches. Your freaking wife is on the show. You better watch something.
The Thursday episode when his wife is on, and that's it.
Probably. You're probably right. I can't argue with you.
Our walk down memory lane, we had Vanessa's craziness in all of her fights.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
How much fun was that? Oh.
That was. Vanessa's crazy.
I can't. Vanessa's nuts, isn't she? She's nuts.
She's crazy.
I was actually watching a little bit of RHAP before we started this, and somebody asked a question. Somebody said that he thought Vanessa was nuts, just like we did. And then Rob posed the question to Taryn, what do you think the majority of the viewing audience views Vanessa, or like, because they kind of view her like straight down the middle, like she's a really good game player, but she's not enjoyable to watch kind of thing. Like she just kind of stinks. And like, so the Vanessa supporters like don't understand their perspective, and the people that hate her don't understand their perspective. So they're like kind of down the middle. But
I think we'll break her down when we start talking about the jury, because I see it both ways.
Okay.
Next up was showmances. The only part that was funny was the nerd mance. That was really
the nerd mance was great, wasn't it? did they actually talk about Steve and James, because they mentioned that on one of the episodes earlier this year?
But not really. Not really.
Oh, well then, whatever.
Yeah. They got their last little bit of mileage out of Becky's train story.
Yes, they did. I was such a fan.
But they left out the llamas. That's the only.
well, I mean, that's the thing about Becky, was that I liked her in the house, but outside of the train story, she wasn't very entertaining. No. Outside of her getting HOH-itis that 1 week.
Yeah.
She the best part of her throughout like the first month and a half of the season was she talked about tacos and her slippers.
Yeah, and Abercrombie. Abercrombie.
But yeah, whatever, same thing.
The
Same
one thing I loved about Clay, and there's very few, but that mumbling segment.
That's by far the funniest part of Big Brother this season for me. Clay with his mumbles was so good, so funny to watch.
Rewatching it is funny to go back because now that I really noticed, I'm just like, what did he say?
Yeah. And at first they didn't have the subtitles for it too, and I was just like, oh my god, do we get to figure this out for ourselves? And then they put it on. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is still great anyway. I don't care.
No, for the rest of his life, he will be a furless bat.
He will be the furthest bat for sure.
Then they remind us of the non-crazy Audrey. Day 2, they pointed that out.
That's as far as she got.
Yeah. And then they go into crazy Audrey with the whole Davon Girls Alliance confrontation.
That may have been the high point of the feeds this year.
Yes. And then they went into James's pranks. Mm-hmm. James is hilarious.
James is awesome. Everybody loves James, as they rightfully should.
Yes. The Wax Street Boys. That kind of, you know what? I think if they would have kept up with the takeover thing, and they just kept doing things like that were funny.
That would have been fun, I guess. But Big Brother isn't creative enough anymore to come up with that stuff. Unfortunately, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like they have a hard enough time coming up with new competitions that they have to spend so much of their time and energy going into that.
Yeah.
That they can't come up with takeovers the entire time too.
I don't know. I think there could have been some funny stuff.
Also, the fact when Rob Gronkowski wasn't even in studio to do that, but he showed up to the talk the very next day. Was kind of just like, okay, nobody cares anymore. What does this even matter?
His publicist got him into that.
Yes, yes, for sure. When he was down in Cabo or wherever the hell he was.
He's like, what's Big Brother? Okay, whatever.
I don't know what that is. Okay, bro, let's do this. I think I saw a tweet that at first he thought it was like the Big Brother Big Sisters organization.
No, that was actually Clay.
Oh, that was Clay, not him.
When he got asked.
Yes, that's right. I actually saw that on the feeds too. But I feel like Gronk probably could have thought that too.
Probably. That's probably what convinced him to do it.
Oh my god, I want live feeds for when Meg goes on the Gronk cruise.
I know.
she would freak him out, I feel like.
Yes.
And it'd be so great.
God.
But he's crazy too, so that'd be okay.
Yeah. And then we go into, I have to ask this question. Am I the only one that rolled my eyes when Vanessa said she kept it real in the diary room?
I laughed so hard when she said that. I was laughing so freaking hard. You know what? I almost got to the point where I think she thinks she did.
I think she thinks she did too. I do. I am a firm believer that Vanessa believes herself. Whatever she says, she believes it.
Yeah, she believes everything she says, unfortunately, which is kind of crazy. But you know what? I love the fact that Steve kept drilling her. Was just like, so you made a deal with her? She was just like, no, I never used those words. So you made her promise you, and then she was just like, gotcha, Vanessa. Yeah. But whatever.
I'm smart, Steve. I'm smart. I'm smart.
I'm smart. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you anyway.
Yeah.
Between us. Oh, good. Awesome. Well done, Vanessa. You showed them.
Yes. So let's before we go into the jury, let's talk about the remaining house guest games a little bit. We'll start with Liz because there's not that much to talk about. Liz won some comps, but Liz did nothing. And the whole first part of the game, people didn't even go talk to her about game. They talked to Austin to talk to her about
They talked to Austin to talk to her. Right. They did.
And then half the time that he told her things, she didn't even understand what he was telling her.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Liz, to me, winning
she doesn't understand anything, but that's okay. She won comps, and she kept herself out of trouble somehow, some way.
Somehow, some way, because she was part of a three-headed monster. Her sheer numbers were scary. There were two of her in Austin, and if people would have went after her, that would have created
And people did go after her. However, Vanessa was just like, yeah, no, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna send your doofus sister out the door instead of you.
Yeah. So. Had Vanessa and Shelly and Clay and those guys not been on board for protecting them, they would have made it in. I don't.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're absolutely right. No, it would have been a completely different game where oh my god, I want to say Clelly and Shay. Clay and Shelly just can control the house with Vanessa, I feel like. And that would have been a crazy threesome right there.
Yeah.
That would have been fun to watch.
Okay, moving on to Steve. Tell me about Steve's game. What do you think?
What do I think about Steve's game? Steve started out being the kid who was like a little bit too creepy for everybody. Would always be like, whenever he walks into a room, everyone's just like, why are you creeping so hard? Why are you being so sneaky and ridiculous? Why don't you just like interact with us more or something? And then when he didn't interact with people, they were just like, why is he avoiding us? I don't understand this kid. He's so weird. So there was literally nothing that kid could have done to make anyone feel comfortable around him. But he also found himself in a really good spot that everyone felt the same about him, that nobody was threatened by him. And he rode that all the way to, I want to say, Final 6, Final 5, that no one really felt threatened by him. And yeah, and now he won a couple of competitions. He's really good in the mental stuff. And he's doing well. Have we gotten to where we are in the like current HOH stuff yet? I don't even remember.
No.
Wow, we're good at this. This is what happens when guests cancel on us. We don't have any freaking plans anymore.
Have to wing it.
Okay, we're winging it, but yeah. So Steve is getting better at being social. He's done a pretty good job strategically, but when he threw that Final 4 HOH, which the show didn't really describe that well, but he did indeed throw it, and then he cried for like 20 minutes about it up in the HOH room. It shows that Vanessa's gotten the best of everybody in this game. So he's played a decent game. I'll give him decent, but safe for sure.
Yeah, I'll give him decent too. I think that he did a good job. Like, well, he was a target in the beginning, but he saved himself both times that he went up. So that was a good thing. He saved himself.
But Jace was going home anyway the first time.
Which is true. But
yes,
he won the veto when he needed to.
He did. He won the veto when he wasn't sure. You're right.
I think he did a good job of staying out of drama. He was never involved, like I said, going back and watching when there are these big group meetings and group decisions and all this stuff going on. Steve's kind of like off in the room juggling oranges. Like
he made 100% sure that he wasn't in the drama. He would just go, "Is there anything I can do to help? Are you feeling like this?" So like everyone's just like, "Steve, you're fine. I don't care. Leave me alone," kind of thing. And I think maybe not even by design, but it worked out in his favor.
I think he found a better little happy medium than Johnny Mac did, because Johnny Mac just stayed out of everything. Where Steve, he kind of knew what was going on. He had conversations with people. He wasn't as clueless as Johnny Mac about things going on in the house. So I think he did good on that aspect.
Yeah, he didn't sleep like a koala bear like Johnny Mac did.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, moving on. Vanessa. I was excited about Vanessa. I've been dying for a female to go in that house and be smart and not just hide behind a showmance. She's smart. She was pretty. She's successful. She's educated. She's everything that I think I wanted in a woman to come and play the house. She's by far the best strategist of the season. Mm-hmm. She's played a damn great game. She's played it hard from start to finish.
Yes.
But like you said, she hasn't been that fun to watch. Like I was watching for her craziness, and I was watching for her medication times.
Yes, right. And did you ever figure it out? Because I felt like I was always at work whenever she got called in the DR to take her meds.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yes, definitely. She has either being very manic, like, and then she has her little, this stare.
That's a good one. You do a good job. You do a good Vanessa impression.
Yes. Yes. And so I just love trying to figure out what was going on in her head. Just
What made her tick kind of thing. Yeah.
yes. And I decided that her hats talk to her. I think we've talked about that before.
Oh my God, she's like Harry Potter. That sorting hat thing. Oh
I mean,
my
if you
God.
go back and look at some of the times where she's sitting in the room by herself, she has her beanie on, and she's just like the hat's talking to her. It's telling her things. I think that's how she figures things out.
This is the stuff you realize when you go back and watch some of the older stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like last season when it was boring like the entire time, I went back and watched like the beginning because oh my God, they're like going streaking throughout the house and it like everybody seems like fun and oh I miss Hayden because he's out and he was fun and he was going to get Derek out at some point. But yeah, that's the fun in going back and seeing stuff that nobody picked up beforehand.
Yes, and then I did as I'm going back. I'm kind of mid-season right now, but I really
you got that far already?
Yeah, I kind of go on the highlights and just click the bottom, just kind of go through the highlights.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is. It's fun. I like it.
So you just do oldest to newest for like all the house guests?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So I still have my feed fixed without like being bored to death. And
Good
just watch. Like I said, I'm paying attention to different people's games and things I didn't pay attention to before. Paying attention to Vanessa, paying attention to Steve. I paid a lot more attention to Johnny Mac. And there's a lot of things I missed, unfortunately, because there's so many like big personalities and such. Like each week there was like a big story happening. And
what was one thing you remember that you missed that you noticed when you came back and watched it?
What I've been watching since last night was the week that James was HOH and he went after I was about to say Shelly or Clay and Shelly. They had a conversation, and it was the night that that Shelly and Clay threw Austin under the bus, and they told about Judas and all the other stuff.
Right.
After that conversation happens, I was really paying attention to Jackie, and Jackie was like,
She wasn't in the room for that conversation though, was she?
Yes, she was. It was James and just Shelly and Clay, and then James went and woke up Jackie and Megan, brought them into the room. So Shelly tell them.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
And then through that conversation, Jackie's like, "Well, we already knew all this stuff." Like she's not impressed by anything.
There's nothing too good about that, right?
Then afterwards, they're talking about should he or should he not use the veto, and Jackie was like, if you take one of them off, Vanessa has got to go. And that whole rest of the week, she was the one, even before Becky got like on the whole Vanessa thing, Jackie was gung-ho, like the bitch gotta go. Like every conversation.
That happened. It did.
I thought that Becky was the first one that had Vanessa's card, but it was actually Jackie. I never noticed that before.
Yeah, you know what, and that makes a lot of sense too because Becky and Jackie from the beginning were pretty inseparable for the most part. Nobody really noticed it in the show because they didn't matter until that week. But yeah, okay, it makes a lot of sense if nothing else that Jackie picked up on that because Jackie was a part of that 8-person deal too, so it makes more sense that she would have noticed it as well.
Yep. And I keep thinking,
or I guess Becky was a part of it too, but Jackie was probably just smart.
Yeah. What would have happened had he took like Clay off the block and put Vanessa up that week, and they got Vanessa out? It would be
hold on, say that again.
Because what she was posing was, hey, take Clay off the block or Shelly, whichever one.
Yeah. And put Vanessa up.
Put Vanessa up and let Vanessa out.
When James was HOH?
Yep.
Oh, bless me. Sorry. That was disgusting. Yeah, no, I was actually thinking that since Clay was saying I should go home, the strategist in me was actually thinking at the time, okay, take him off the block.
Mm-hmm.
Take him off the block so you can do what's better for you.
Yes.
Like Clay would potentially like want to work with you later on once Shelly's out of the house and he gets over the fact that you got his girl out of the house.
Yep.
Shelly was never ever going to do that.
Yep.
Ever.
And I think the week that was going on, I was like, take out the showmans, take out the showmans.
I think everybody was doing that, but
yes. But looking
but as soon as Clay started saying like I'm gonna like fall on my sword for her, I was, the BB fan in me was thinking, okay, take him off the block. So you take it out of his hands.
Yeah.
That'd be the right way to go. But
a good move, it would have actually been a good move to put Vanessa up and get her out, because Shelly and Clay had just threw Austin and the twins under the bus. So if they got rid of Vanessa, Vanessa kind of was the glue that held that little crew together.
Yes, and I don't really think that James or Meg knew that. Jackie and Becky probably figured it out at some point, but James isn't smart. James wasn't smart enough to figure that out. We love him, but he's dumb.
But I honestly think, had that week gone differently, I think James could have won this game.
If James had gotten Vanessa out and that sixth sense had broken up at that point, that I don't know. When the game is strong.
The only reason I think this is because he would have still had Shelly and Clay in the house, and then he still would have had Oz twins in the house, and those guys would have gone at it because they threw each other under the bus. They couldn't stand each other at that point. So it would have been some back and forth with the threesome and the twosome.
He's still not smart enough to navigate his way through the house, though.
He's not, but they would have imploded.
Yeah. They would have imploded, but somebody who was smart in that house would have taken over, whether that be, I feel like an Austin probably could have taken over at that point. He could have gotten James, Jackie, and Meg on his side at that point. They would have been fine. All of them would have gone after Clay and Shelly. That would have been fine. Austin would have turned his back on James, gotten him out of the house, and then it could have been an Austin victory at that point.
It could have. I think they would have went after breaking the threesome up.
Who's they?
Either a Becky or a Jackie or somebody like that. Like James would have been suckered in, but Becky.
Jackie may have. Jackie may have, but Becky, and part of the reason I love Becky was that she would go after the biggest personality in the house.
Sure.
The person that upset her the most in the house. And I don't know who that would have been at the time, actually. Maybe it would have been Austin.
I think so.
I just don't know if Austin did anything to upset her at that point.
I don't know.
She probably would have laid low again. Oh, touchdown Seattle.
I would have loved to see it play out differently.
It would have been cool if it did play out differently, for sure. 100%.
Right, so let's get into the jury. Now,
technically, even though everybody already knows, let's just say Vanessa won the first part of the HOH. Steve won the second part of the HOH. Liz said production told her one of them because she thought she wasn't there for one of the questions, and then they just gave her the answer. That was fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. But it didn't matter because Steve was better than her at that point.
You got a handicap and still lost.
with all the running that Vanessa was telling her she had to do, she still couldn't do that with all that running.
Yeah. Oh well. I didn't expect much from Liz. Even though I would have freaked out if she won, to be perfectly honest. I would have been
if Liz won?
Yeah.
That would have been, how boring would that finale have been?
Oh my god.
That would have been a bad finale.
Oh my gosh.
That would have been sad.
I think Vanessa has got this. I think she's gonna win. But while we're talking about the jury, I'm gonna take the stance of why Vanessa might not win. I'm gonna take that stance.
From the stance of a jury member?
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. Yep. Go right for it.
Our first member is Shelly.
Wait. Are you assuming that she's already in final two?
Yep.
Oh, who is she with, or does it not matter?
I don't think it. Well, we'll go through all three.
Okay. Cool.
Honestly, I don't think Liz counts. Even if she makes final two.
You know what? Sadly, I think it would be a close vote between her and Steve. I really do think it would be a close vote.
I do too. I think we'll just to knock Liz out. I think she'll get her sister. I think she'll get Austin, and I think that's it. I think everybody else has seen Liz's game the same way we have. That Austin controlled everything that she did. I don't see anybody rewarding her.
You know what? The more I think about it, I think Austin could convince James and Meg potentially, and then I don't think Jackie would be bitter towards Steve if it was those two in the end. But you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
I don't know. I'll like cry or something if Liz wins. It'll be a waste.
Well, I mean, is her as a winner really that much worse of a winner than Jordan was as a winner?
Is this actually to me? And oh God, people are probably gonna hate me for saying this, but Liz is probably a better winner than Jordan.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I think she's without a doubt a better winner than Jordan. Jordan won a crapshoot HOH, and Jordan won the second part of the HOH challenge, and I can't even remember what else she won.
She didn't. She was cute.
She was cute. She got the Dumbo edit, and that was it. Yeah, she was not a good winner.
Because if Liz is I feel like I wasted my energy if Liz wins.
Oh man, that'd be an odd representation of this season. But at the same time, I think it's a lot closer between her and Steve than everyone else thinks it is.
I can see that between her and Steve. Yes, I can see that.
But between her and Vanessa, it shouldn't be close. Between Steve and Vanessa, it shouldn't be close. Between her and Steve, I think it's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, it might be. I just don't see her getting the enough to win. But let's go through each jury member. We'll figure out what they're going to do. Okay. Shelly is our first jury member. I think I was listening to RHAP a week ago, and he was saying Shelly's been in jury for like 40-something days.
Yeah, she's been there for a long time. with Jackie the entire time, by the way.
Yes, she's missed a lot. I was hoping that Shelly would be like a bitter jury person, but from the little bits that we've seen,
I think she's happy in Jury House. I think she's really happy to be in Jury House. Yeah. She seemed happier than anybody to fall off at that buyback competition. She seemed very excited to be off. So
I think Shelly's going to be Team Vanessa no matter what.
No matter what? Yeah, now that Johnny Mac is out. She said she would cheer for Steve, but yes, I think you're right. I think she would go Vanessa for sure.
Okay, so Jackie. Moving on to Jackie. This one's a weird one, and I'm gonna bring up two things that I think are gonna weigh into this jury, even though these people are not jury members. And this is where I think Vanessa completely screwed up. Number one, well, the first one isn't too bad of a mess up, but Jeff's eviction. Jeff's eviction was a setup.
Yes,
and before he was leaving, he kept saying, I think I was set up. I think I was set up. But the only two people that know this, well, three, were Vanessa, Austin, and Audrey. Were the only three people that knew that this was a setup.
That knew it was a setup, right?
Yes. Audrey, of course, left. Austin never admitted to it because he was part of it. But now that they're in the jury, and Jackie's always been suspicious of it.
You think Austin's going to admit to that?
I think he is.
Oh, no, because he's bitter as hell at Vanessa. Yes, I think he would do that. Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yes, he will sit there and say, hey, remember the whole Jeff thing? Yeah, we set that up. That was Vanessa's idea. She wanted to pick the fight. Jeff kept saying it was a setup. That's true. It was a setup.
Wow. Oh, my God. That'd be great.
Yes. So, and Jackie, so much fun. And the other one, I think if Vanessa loses, the Jason week is why she loses. And I kind of talked about it before, but Vanessa was in a good spot where there were people in the house she wasn't necessarily close to game-wise, that she wasn't working with, and she got everybody on board. Everybody was down with this plan to get rid of Austin. She could have used this opportunity to build relationships with these other people, and instead she took a big fat shit on their heads by getting rid of Jason.
The only problem I have with that entire week that Vanessa did was that she flip-flopped so much from the beginning that she should have talked to Austin from the beginning and said, hey, I don't agree with what you're doing. But she should have realized that he's a freaking number for her, and then she wouldn't have gotten enemies out of it. She just wouldn't have gotten enemies out of it, and she would have been fine, and Shelly and Clay still would have taken the heat anyway because they were the swing votes, and everyone would have realized that it's Vanessa's strategy. But it turned out to be okay for her somehow, some way.
I think because that's what everybody's argument was.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of Austin because he's a number for her. He's a number for her. But she could have, if she worked it right, she could have gained so much more from that week from the other people than losing that one person. Because she would have still had the twins. She would still have Shelly and Clay.
But an 8-person get together alliance, whatever the hell it was called, there were a lot of personalities there that somehow it would have turned bad for her. I think
the 8-person thing wouldn't have worked, but she could have pulled one of those people in to her side.
I think it would have blown up right in her face because she was the vocal leader of that. I think it would have blown up in her face, and I think she did the right job picking the sheep in Austin, Liz, and Julia.
And I get
to stay with her.
But that's where I think it's a little blurry because from that point forward, there was no, like for the people that she screwed over, there was no trusting her from that point forward. There was
okay. So what I was saying is that she never should have started from the beginning. What you were saying is once she started this, she should have just stuck with getting Austin out, is what you're saying. Okay, yeah, no, and that's fine. I agree with you on that one.
There was too many people involved. It was like a whole house thing. Everybody, I mean, even James agreed to go up on the block. You know, they had everybody behind them.
Becky agreed to go up on the block.
Yeah. And then, and everybody's together on this thing, even though it might have not been this big 8-person alliance, it opened a window for Vanessa with people that she wasn't already working with.
Yeah, and you know what? You're absolutely right. Jackie was the first one to realize it because she was co-HOH with Vanessa that week. And she started talking and was just like, okay, so we're still sticking with the plan, right? Vanessa was just like, well, actually, I talked to Austin and we're actually on good terms now. So, no, that's not happening.
I changed my mind.
Just like, no, that's bullshit. That's not going to work over here. I don't think that's going to be how we're going to do it anymore. And then that's when Jackie became Jackie this season.
She could have still gotten out of everything scot-free if she chose Steve. She could have kept Austin, she could have kept the twins, and she could have chosen Steve and still kept everybody happy. But
yeah, but she wasn't doing that. I really think she thought Steve was her final two at that point.
Yeah. But going after Jason was the absolute, for her game, it was a good thing because I think Jason would have been an obstacle for her in the long run. I think getting rid of Jason was a good thing.
I don't think Clay and Shelly would have been okay with her going after Steve, though. I feel like if they were switching it, they would have had to switch it to a big target.
True, but like I said, I was just rewatching that whole thing play out a week ago, and Shelly and Clay did not want Jason to go up. They actually did fight against it. They were like, well, what about this? What about that? What about Jason was the very last person, and then Vanessa was so insistent upon it being Jason, they gave in.
But I'm gonna watch that again.
Yeah, Jason, they actually didn't want Jason to go.
Yeah,
because if you remember, Jason and Meg had become extremely close to Clay and Shelly. And they were talking.
I do remember that. Yeah, and that's part of the reason why Meg cried so much. And then she took the blame, or Shelly and Clay took the blame instead of her.
So they were talking alliance. They were working together. They were sharing information. But I think that's why Vanessa wanted Jason gone so much because she saw that Jason was getting close to Shelly and Clay.
And that brings back the whole thing where you said, "Oh, this person is getting close to my alliance member. I want them gone before they steal them from me." And that's been the way it's been for Vanessa every single time she gets in power. Every time. Yep.
So I think, and like I think I said before, where you need to at least give people the illusion that you're workable, that they might be able to work with you in the future. They might be able to sway you in the future. You know, you have to leave yourself open, even if you're not really. People need to think that.
Derek was really good at that.
Yes.
Really, really good at that. Oh, everybody wants Devin out. Let me win HOH and get him out.
Yep.
fun.
Yeah. And every single person in that house, that's why his name never came up. He never got nominated, because every person in their head thought, I can work with Derek.
Yeah, every single person thought that.
Every single person. This is where Vanessa shut the door on half the house, because she completely, blew everybody's trust. The same week with Shelly and Clay, instead of just sitting back and letting it happen, that's when she went on a rampage, campaigning for Shelly. Shelly and Clay were sitting off in the corner by themselves, and Vanessa ran around the whole house and was like, "We got to keep Shelly. Got to keep Shelly. Shelly has to stay." And that even further pissed everybody off.
Oh my God, dude! I don't know if you remember this, but the day of the it was a Monday. It was that was the day that the replacement POV happened, and Vanessa went up on the block. Becky put her up.
Yes.
Derek was actually the voicemail guest for RHAP that night, and he was pretty much saying, "Yeah, you know what? I understand that people are saying that we're similar because we're both strategists and stuff, but she's so super emotional and shuts people off so much. What I would do is I would try and talk personally with them. She doesn't know how to do that. She's awful at that, and I don't know if that's going to get her far in the game. And somehow she's managed to get through anyway without doing that, which I think is nuts."
It's true, but she got extremely lucky that week.
Of course she did. She absolutely did. Extremely lucky. The fact that Becky put up one of her closest allies, I would say, in Shelly.
He got lucky because James walked outside in Clay's shirt. That's the only reason.
Oh my God! Not Shirtgate again.
Yes, but that's the only reason.
Well, touchdown Seattle, but yeah, jeez Louise, that's.
So
what an idiot Shelly is.
She is. But since we're talking about Jackie, I don't know that Jackie would vote for Vanessa, because she tried to develop a personal relationship with her and she didn't.
That's part of the reason that I thought she might vote for Liz too. Is because that there was no personal development going on there. Yeah.
And just back to back to back, it was she just screwed her over.
And she's far from a super fan. She's not going to care what people think of her. Yeah. People from The Amazing Race already thought she was obnoxious with Jeff, I feel like. So
yeah, she's
got nothing to lose at that point. Yeah, maybe she would vote for Liz. I don't think she would vote for Steve over Vanessa.
I do. Because I think
you think she would vote for Steve? Oh, that's right, because everyone thought it was Vanessa's idea.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Right.
So even though Steve evicted her, she blames Vanessa for it.
She blames Vanessa. Everybody blames Vanessa, but every single jury segment, I feel like everyone's saying she's playing such a good game, blah blah blah, this and that, and then they even said if they would come back into the house, they would get the Austin and the twins out before they get Vanessa out.
Yeah. But with Jackie, I think Austin coming into the jury, and if he reveals the real information about Jeff, I think there's no way that Vanessa gets her vote.
I disagree with no way, but there's a very good possibility Vanessa doesn't get her vote.
Yeah, I don't think Vanessa gets her vote. Becky.
Becky, I want to believe Becky would vote for Vanessa to win. She doesn't really respect Steve, and I don't think and she said she would go after Austin and the twins, and literally she just meant she would go after Austin because the twins haven't done anything, and she knows the twins haven't done anything. So I think Becky wants to believe that she's smart at the game and she's good at the game, because she mentioned in her exit interview that even though she didn't watch all the seasons live, she did a really good job cramming for all of it into one. So she knows what good gameplay is. I think she would reward Vanessa with a win.
I think she would too. And she told Johnny Mac before she left, if you go to final two with Vanessa, I'm going to vote for her. So,
That's right. She did say that. So that's enough information right there.
Yep. Meg and James. I think they might, and I just lump them together because it's Meg and James.
Because they're gonna vote together.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time with them and deciding.
I think they're going to be very dependent on everyone else in the jury. They're going to be super dependent on what other people in the jury are going to do because they like to be so likable that they don't. They want to go with what the majority goes with. I think.
I don't know. I don't know. I think those two out of everybody, well, along with Jackie, but those two in particular were the most bothered with the Jason week. And I think that, and this is where I think Vanessa messed up.
And if anyone has beef with them, it's them as well.
Yeah. I think where she messed up with them when she initially put them on the block, when she told them about, well, week 5 about the whole Austin lie, and you didn't tell me and you weren't loyal to me. When she came up with her bullshit reason for putting them up, instead of just being straightforward and saying, I'm putting you up because I'm putting you up. You know, they were insulted by her making up a reason to put them up. And they would have respected if she just said, you're a threat, you're a twosome, I want you out. So,
I honestly think 2 seconds after they got to jury, they didn't care anymore. And they'll probably vote for who played better.
I can see Meg not caring anymore. James, I'm not sure. But
I don't think either of them are going to hold a grudge. I don't think they care enough. I don't. I don't think they care.
I'm sorry. Julia is up next. Julia will do whatever somebody tells her to do.
Then if Julia doesn't vote for her sister and votes for Vanessa,
oh my God,
get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Just get out of here. Which, you know what? Maybe Vanessa could convince her to do. Like in her speech, she'll just direct all of her answers at Julia and be like, Julia, this is why you should vote for me instead of your sister. That would be amazing. That would be incredible. I would love to see that.
I think Julia, she has reasons to be mad at Vanessa.
But she won't be.
She won't be. But
she won't be.
This is where things change. Is Austin enters the jury house.
That'll definitely help. That'll 100% help the fact that'll help Liz anyway.
Yeah. But you got to think that Shelly, Jackie, Becky, May, all those guys have been sitting around finally comparing notes and trading stories and getting truth and all the other stuff.
That's the beauty of the jury house, isn't it?
Yeah. And if anybody was wavering on the side of not voting for Vanessa, Austin coming in and being able to add whose 2 cents,
that'll help
them over the edge.
That'll help for sure.
Yes.
That'll help big time.
Yes. So if Austin is really truly pissed off at Vanessa, that's where things get crazy. I think if Austin wasn't in there and he wasn't mad at Vanessa, I think everybody kind of would have been like, oh, I'm going to forget about everything. But we have to remember, just like being in the Big Brother house, these guys still don't have nothing to do. They're still stuck with each other. They're still, they haven't left the game yet. Even though they've left the game, they still, I'm pretty sure, talk game every day, think about the game every day, even though they're not playing it. And with the new person that comes in with new information, they're backfilling each other and sharing things. And like I said, if any of those people were already like, about Vanessa and Austin's really pissed off, I think he pushes them on the side of not voting for her.
Do you think there's any scenario where Vanessa gets Austin's vote?
Yes. If Austin is just playing, if he's just doing his TV time thing, being mad at Vanessa, but he's really not that mad at her. That's it. We don't know. You know, Austin likes to do things for TV.
So that's also assuming that she's going up against Steve too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or are we assuming that he's playing Liz, which sounds so stupid to say out loud?
Well, no, I don't think if Liz is in final 2, there's no way Vanessa gets his vote.
But if she picks Steve, there's a chance.
There's a chance. Yep.
Okay, but then at the same time, that means. Oh no, I guess it could mean that Steve could win final HOH and evict Liz too. Okay, so yeah, if somehow Steve wins final HOH and picks Vanessa to go to final 2 with him, yeah, that would also help for sure.
Yep.
But that's not going to happen.
And then Johnny Mac.
God, I pray that doesn't happen. Oh, Steve, don't do that, man.
Johnny Mac is our latest and greatest in the jury.
Latest and greatest.
I think he votes for Vanessa. Or unless she's up against Steve, then I think but I don't know if
No, I think he votes for Vanessa.
I think he votes for Vanessa. You're right.
I think he's enjoying spending time with Becky, and they're probably the two most, as crazy as it sounds, they're the two most predictable ones to say that they would vote for Vanessa.
Yeah, I think he votes for Vanessa. So that leaves Shelly with Vanessa, Jackie's a maybe, Becky's Vanessa, Megan James kind of a maybe, and this is going up against Steve, by the way.
Okay.
Julia and Austin are a maybe.
No, probably not.
And Johnny.
Do we have to pick Liz's vote as well?
We can go through it. Okay, so Vanessa's up against Liz. Okay, you say which one? Shelly.
Oh, okay. No. I was saying Liz voting for Steve versus Vanessa.
Oh, Liz will vote for Vanessa.
Liz would vote for Vanessa, but maybe Austin and Julia would be.
Well, it depends on how much time they get to talk.
I don't think they do get to talk. Well, I guess they would during commercial breaks.
Yeah, and I think she'll pick up on their questions too. Like if their questions are like, come up in the questions.
If it was Julia, she wouldn't pick up on their questions, but Liz would pick up on their questions. Yes, you're right.
Liz will pick up on it.
I agree with you on that one. Okay.
But let's just go through it. We'll do Vanessa or Liz and then Steve. So okay. Vanessa against Liz. Shelly.
She picks Vanessa.
Jackie.
I still say Vanessa.
Becky.
Vanessa.
Meg.
Liz.
And James too?
Yes.
Austin?
Yep.
Well, Julia, yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny Mac.
Vanessa.
Okay, so that's what's one.
So that's 4 aside, and then Steve votes for Vanessa.
Yep. Vanessa wins. Okay. And then
so
Vanessa,
that's a close one. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's a close one. Anyway.
Yeah. Vanessa against Steve. Shelly.
Steve.
Really? I think Vanessa. Jackie.
Steve.
Becky.
Vanessa.
Meg and James.
Vanessa.
Julia.
This is Vanessa versus Steve, right? Vanessa.
Austin.
All right.
I say Vanessa.
As weird as it sounds, yeah, I guess he would pick Vanessa.
Johnny Mac, Vanessa, and out of Liz and Shelly, or I'm sorry, Liz. Liz
would vote for Vanessa. Liz has already talked about how much she hates Steve, so yeah.
So I think Vanessa's best move is to take Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm on the fence about Shelly picking Steve, but she did mention that she wants him to win. Wouldn't she?
If Shelly had contact with Clay, she wouldn't vote for Vanessa. but again, Shelly, just going back to while Shelly was still in the house, so much still had not happened yet.
I think she's gonna make eye contact with Clay in the audience and be like, "That's what he wants me to do. He wants me to vote against Vanessa. Watch it happen."
Yeah, I don't know.
And then I guess we should do Liz versus Steve as well, right?
Yeah, I think Liz or Steve's a shoo-in though, but we can do it. Shelly.
Steve.
Jackie.
Steve, barely, but Steve.
Yeah, Becky.
Steve.
Meg and James.
I say Liz.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
I think Austin would draw them in.
Julian, Austin, obviously,
Or
are
Liz
Johnny Mac,
is Steve.
and then Vanessa.
Ooh, I don't know.
I think she's a Steve.
I think she is, but I'm not 100%. I'm 60% leaning Steve, but that's a lot closer than. I think that's a tougher decision than the other house guests that
I think she looks at it as though Steve is able to completely control Liz. Liz doesn't even offer an opinion when Vanessa tells her things. You know, Liz just kind of okay.
And you know what? I think a lot of it comes down to if Vanessa is on meds or not that night as well.
I do
is another thing that it comes down to. That's why it's so freaking hard to predict what Vanessa's gonna do if she ends up in jury. Oh, that'd be crazy.
I think she picked Steve because at least Steve has an opinion. At least Steve is aware of what's going on. She's had intelligent conversations with Steve. He's aware of how the game goes.
She would pick Steve to win, but I think she would take Liz to the finals with her.
Yeah. No, I think she picked Steve over Liz to win.
Yeah. And you know what? Yeah. The fact that she would take Liz to the finals probably means she would pick Steve to win.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Steve wins. Yeah. Steve taking Liz is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Vanessa taking Steve is a good thing.
Yep. And Liz can't win HOH, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, we only got
what would be a good thing for Liz? Taking Steve, I guess.
Yeah.
Because then she has on the resume that she would have gotten Vanessa out.
But she doesn't.
No. I'm saying if she won the final HOH and took the end. I think that would have obviously put her over the top with a win over Steve.
No, her thing will be, okay, I had a fun time playing this game.
Oh, come on. Nobody cares about those speeches anyway. Camille, nobody cares about those speeches.
But she still will look stupid.
Of course she will, because she can't talk about playing with her sister anymore because that's way in the past.
Yeah.
And that's all she's had to go on in her speeches.
She'll look stupid. I do want to see a Vanessa Steve showdown though.
That's gonna be so much fun for the final HOH. But I feel like this is an awful topic for both of them. They have to figure out what the other house guests are saying.
Yep.
They can't do that. Neither of them can do that.
I think Steve might know people better than her though. Maybe.
But I think Steve knows them, but I think Vanessa knows what makes them tick more than he does.
Maybe. I don't know. It's gonna be
that whole poker player thing better work out for her in this final HOH. Otherwise, she's done.
Yeah.
It better come up big, being able to read people. I mean, she throws so much shit on the wall in that house anyway that, like, you don't really know if she's good at reading people.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
And most of those questions are pretty obvious for the most part anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it has been a fun episode. We have one left to go. Our last one will be the finale. Where either we'll cry or be happy. Either way, I'll be drinking.
Yeah, girl.
We are hoping to do Survivor as it's coming up. We're working on it. We'll see how that goes.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, fingers crossed. That should be fun. Do you have anything you want to leave our fans with? Our two fans?
our two fans? Well, to one of them, Game Freak, you're the man. I hope this whole podcast with doing a fantasy draft for Survivor goes through well. Hopefully it happens tomorrow or Tuesday. That'd be awesome. Fingers crossed. Tim, get on that. Make sure it works. We're shooting for a podcast tomorrow. Give us some airtime, buddy. Okay, cool. That's all I got to say.
Your final winner pick. Who wins Wednesday?
Vanessa. Vanessa wins.
And I'm saying Vanessa too.
Yeah.
All right. that is it for us tonight. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I know you're going to watch later. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I'm going to not go put pants on. All right?
Atta girl. Do it. Yes.
Good night, everybody.
Night-night.